Okay, so it's Sunday, February 3rd, Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm getting ready to experiment with this tool. And it's pretty easy. You know, I see a lot of videos, you know, guys like this trying to tell you how to do it, which helps sometimes it doesn't, but I think I got it figured out. So we're gonna try this thing on this old junk BMX frame and just see how easy it is to do these inserts. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I can certainly tell you that using these steel inserts and using that little bolt and nut little cheat that they always say, it doesn't work. So gotta have the tool. And there's the tool. So I'm gonna try a few and see how it works, but I'm getting a late start because I had to run to Menards in a blizzard. No, it's not a blizzard. Just running to Menards in the cold and getting it. But see, there's one way to do it with that little hand thing, but that's not going to do it when you're talking about steel rib nuts. So anyway, I'll be right back with after we try the first hole. Okay, so we tried the tool. It works really well. This little tool here, and only took a couple minutes to drill the hole. Not even that. I just got the right bit size, as it says on the directions, for this insert for rib nut. And man, that thing works really good. It doesn't really take a lot of pressure. I didn't even really give it a lot of effort. It just did it. So we're gonna get my brothers done and mount these the controller and the wiring. And I promised I wouldn't show my brother's bike until it was done, but yeah, we're going to get right to it because it really was easy. And so hopefully not jinxing it, but it's going to take a while because I got to take the forks off to really get at the frame. To, you know, we really have to be careful. These bikes, try to find a 15-inch or 17-inch specialized stump jumper frame from, you know, like the early late 90s or 2000s. You won't find them. So they're not that much to buy them, but you know, try to find one. So we're going to be really careful, but I wasn't careful with this at all, and it went right in. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I lied. I promised I wouldn't show this until I was done, but this just works too slick. So I'm going to show. I usually don't like doing videos with me working on stuff because, well, I just don't. But there's plenty of videos of YouTube people doing that stuff. But yeah, this is just really cool. This really works well. So I drilled 3 out of the 4 holes of the rib nuts for my brother's bike. 2 of the holes are to mount the controller. This and the other 2 are just going to be for, you know, holding the shortened wires in a nice tidy little spot. And really the best strategic, well, one of the good strategic places to, you know, kind of connect all your wiring, and that'll be shown kind of later on because it's going to take me a while to shorten all the wires. But anyway, you got to check this out. So I'm going to focus this a little bit better. So see, there's the 3, and they just went slick. You just drill the holes. The only thing is you might want to get some extra drill bits like I did, because that steel burns out the little pilot hole drill bits. So just buy a lot of bits and go slow and lube the tip of the bits. That seems to help. It cost me 1 bit to figure that out. Alright, so here we go. So you thread the rib nut in the little tool. You know, just spins right on. You just make sure you have this thing open all the way. And you put this baby in here like this. And then you just carefully want to rock it one way or another, but man, it just goes like that, and you spin it out. Just be careful and don't break the bit on a Sunday, because I think these tips, and I've heard the guys breaking these things when you get too aggressive with the smaller diameters, but yeah, they're, anyway, that's it. That's how it works, and it works well. I mean, these things, none of these things rattle. You know, they're in there. The little bolts go in. And you know how it is, guys. Sometimes you just have to break a promise. But you have to drop a bolt. Oh. That's what it's focused on. Yeah, just bolts right in, and everything you want bolts right on there. And I guess the frame won't crack or none of that. It doesn't hurt a thing. A lot of guys do this, and it just makes it nice and clean. So instead of using duct tape and zip ties, you use rib nuts and bolts. And I didn't really get that great of a deal on the tool, but I got it fast. So sometimes you got to pay the piper to get it done quick. Okay, all right. Well, the next video will be of the controller on. But yes, you had to take the forks off. There it is. But yeah, I can put the forks back on and put the controller on and get all that stuff on. And yeah, I was really sweating that, but still not over. But certainly a lot of relief that that tool works with not a lot of effort. So yeah, till I get the controller on. All right, so we have the controller on, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it's mounted. It works. It's great. Looks clean, factory. Awesome. The shifter cable clears by about, you can't even see it, but man, I'm telling you what, that thing clears by like about 5,000ths of an inch. It doesn't clear by much, but it clears. So I had to put a few washers in there to space it, to make sure the shifter cable's clear, like this, but they clear. So now I'm putting on the front derailleur cable, and then just start shortening the the throttle wires and the pedal assist sensor wires, and all the other wires are already shortened. So yeah, so it's going together really fast. I mean, it's like 1:30 on Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll just see how close we can get before kickoff. Okay, so the front derailleur cable for my brother's bike is in, and it's same thing. It's about like just a whisper above the controller, but hey, it's not touching, so not going to interfere with the shifting under tension. And see, there's the cable right there. It's kind of hard to see, but I mean, nothing special, just the good old normal, good old fashioned front derailleur cable installation. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna put the front tire on. I'm gonna put a slime tube in the front tire, because we actually had a flat like 5 minutes after we first started riding this thing. I built his bike like 2 years ago, put new tires on it, new tubes in it, gave it to him. He maybe rode it a couple times, but this thing sat with air in the tires, or no problem for years. And then we test it with the motor and the battery on the bike, and I took it around the block, he took it around the block, he rode up, and the bike had a flat. And I'm thinking, well, he hit a thorn or glass or something, and oh God, we got a flat. And we pulled the tube out, and the seam broke on the tube on the inside. So word to the wise, yeah, when you get these tires and tubes on the back, just get a heavy duty tube or a slime tube, and definitely put a thorn liner in the tire. I mean, it certainly can't hurt, because it wasn't really that big a deal. But you know, you're talking 2 full-grown men bringing this thing back down to my basement and throwing up on a stand and changing the tire and tube, and it was kind of a pain. But you don't even want to mess with these things on the side of the trail if you get it flat on the back. So my advice is to get as beefy a tire as you can, beefy tube as you can, put thorn liners in them, and avoid thorns and glass and cactus like the plague, because the last thing you want to do on the side of the road in one of these things is do a flat on the back. You know, well, it's not the end of the world, but you know, it certainly does help if you've been working on bikes all your life. But if you don't know how to do a flat on a bicycle, then you may want to practice that before you start riding one of these, because they are, you know, you got the wire hanging off. It weighs like 20 pounds. You got these massive bolts holding the you know, wheel on the back of the bike, so it's not just an easy thing, and you can't flip the thing upside down. These are plastic levers, so you don't want to flip it upside down, because the first thing you do here is you break your levers, so now you can't even ride at home or do whatever if your battery runs dead. So you just have to, I guess in short, beefy tube, beefy tire, slime tube, thorn liner in the tire, and practice up on your patching, people, because even an experienced biker does not like, you know, pulling that wheel off. It's just it's a pain. So anyway, I was just going to say, you know, until the next video, it's not yeah. So I have the controller on, the wires I have all spliced and kind of tucked under there, but I'm ordering some bolts that'll bolt into the new inserts. Oh man, scared me to death. I thought that rib nut in there was spinning, and it was just the cable rubbing up against the frame. But so yeah, I ordered some bolts that have little holes in them that'll mount with the hole this way, so that way we can hook up zip ties holes in them. Yeah, that's what you get for cleaning up. Zip ties with little holes in them, and then they'll really bolt nicely up to the holes like that. And then there's 100 different ways we can. And I'm going to tighten this up even more, and that'll be, you know, about the size of a mustard bottle. And yeah, we're just about ready to put on my brother's front tube, but I think he'll feel better seeing this. We're putting there's already a slime tube on the back. We're putting a slime tube on his front wheel, so that way he knows that's going on there. So yeah, I'm going to put this front tire on, and then I'm just going to throw the battery on and test it. But yeah, that thing, all that riding we did yesterday, I don't know, we had like 4 people ride it around the block, you know, full throttle. I mean, and there was some other stuff we didn't film. You know, my nephew rode it. I mean, he took it up this gnarly hill a couple times, and so I don't know, there's like at least a couple miles. I mean, wide open, full throttle, no pedaling, and his battery is still fully charged. And I'm actually going to have to run the battery a little bit just to kind of take some of the juice off the top end of the battery to store it, because you're not supposed to store them fully charged, and that thing's still showing a full charge. So I'm gonna run a little bit. I'd take it for a ride, but it's snowing out, so it was kind of lucky for us to have it ride yesterday. So I'm gonna button this thing up. You know, the tire's ready to, or the tube's ready to go in, and I'm just gonna slap the battery on. We'll test it, and be right back. Okay, well, it's Sunday, February 3rd, 2019. It's 3:40 p.m. on Super Bowl Sunday, and I got my brother's bike all together. Yes, we have to fix this. you know, just basically find a way to wrap that up and attach it to the rib nuts. Like I said, I have those bolts coming, and I did find a tie wrap, like what I was trying to describe. See, it's got a little hole in the end, so basically you just put two, one on each side, and then you just bolt it right up to the eyelet, and you can tie up those wires 100 different ways, including the way that I had it done before, which wasn't bad at all. And so there's a lot of different ways to do that. But yeah, it's ready to go, and he's going to pick it up next weekend, and he's going to drop off his wife's bike, and I'm going to start working on it. And that's a nice little stump jumper. Wait till you see that baby. And but yeah, this thing's ready to ride. I mean, I'm actually going to have to run it a little bit just to kind of take the top end off the battery. But basically, I'm going to run this thing a few minutes and watch the pregame of the Super Bowl. And I'm going to post this video while I'm warming up for that. But yeah, it's ready, so check it out. That thing's rock solid. That controller's rock solid on there. Let's see if we can get one. Let's do that. So it's ready, and here's my bike. Yeah, another watching bike videos, but mine, you know, all them wires hanging off, all I gotta do is just shorten up the wires and do the same thing on mine, you know, take the forks off and mount all the rib nut mounts, and but I got plenty of time to do that. Plus I'm gonna have all the parts for my trike. I'm gonna have it laid out and check all that out at once. And that trike's going to be really cool. But it's February 3rd, so there's no blind rush. But yeah, he's going to take this thing home next weekend. I mean, there's no reason for him not to ride it when he can get the chance. And he's getting like a new seat. And yeah, he's getting a helmet too. Because this thing was flying down the road. We figured out that they top out they got like a built-in governor like 28 miles an hour, so, but that's fast enough. I think mine tops out at 35 because that's what it said on the speedometer, but we'll see. But you know, 28 miles an hour is fast enough, man. These brakes are really good brakes, and it was you really have to make sure you hit them to stop, and heaven help you if one of the brakes go out or a cable breaks or you melt the pads because you're not paying attention. But anyway, Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm gonna post this video and watch some football. The next video you'll probably see is just maybe, you know, me tying up stuff on my bike, and but as soon as we get his wife's bike up here, we're gonna do kind of that's going to be all kind of one video, I think, because then it's not going to be so much jumping around, and it'll be less haphazard and more step by step and less monotone and less habit words and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy about how all this turned out. It goes a lot faster than I thought, which is nice. My brother and I were talking. We're really anxious for the spring and warm days during the winter, because we're planning to get out and see how long these will ride before the batteries die. So happy Super Bowl.